Hello guys, welcome on this video. It's Julian, and we are going to do like a market analysis we are the 29th of January 2022. So the crypto market, quite a good week, I guess, after weeks of like dump. Still, in 30 days, market is very oversold, as you can see over there, and only few coins, altcoin like overperformed Bitcoin during like this bearish trend, like since we have like since few weeks. So this is why we are going to focus on the main crypto today, so Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's start with few. To recap this video, this is like our kind of like prediction, how we feel the market will move. So to be like, so it's a bit like what we discussed last week. The idea is like in a daily, I think we will mainly have some kind of a bounce towards 40k to then have like a more dump. So this kind of like more a trading move than a real investing move, but we are going to discuss that in detail. So if you want to sum up this video in only one picture, I will choose this one. So Bitcoin hodlers. So clearly we are in a phase where Bitcoin maximalists and hodlers are trying to accumulate Bitcoin, so which is quite good on the macro scale. So this is why I think we are not that far from probably a bottom of like this whole bearish situation. And to confirm that, we have like some kind of like whale accumulation. So folios over 1,000 Bitcoin are starting to go up again, which is a very healthy sign, even though like the momentum is slow at the moment, but quite cool. And it's a long time we haven't got like that much fear in the market. It was like during the summer 2021 when we had like a very bearish phase of like few months. So we are, I think, in kind of like the same situation, and except like a small pump to then have like more fear on the market and more fear. Yeah. So SP 500. So in daily candle. As you can see, it quite happened like as we mentioned, so like a bounce on the $420 level. We expect a bit a good next week to go back to the level we had like before this quite of a very impressive dump, to then have like more bearish scenario in a weekly time frame, because we do think that oscillators are not down yet enough to say that okay, it's a good entry point on SP 500. So even though we will not probably look at a short after this daily bounce, we will wait to see how SP 500 react in the coming weeks, but this scenario is still on the table. So let's move to Bitcoin. So in daily, the scenario is still to have some kind of a bounce at 40k and then more dump. This is why you should not be, even though we say that you should not be in a rush on how you place orders on Bitcoin. I would recommend you to like be patient, put like open limit orders like at key levels, and just wait to have like candles executing your orders. Do not be in a rush, and be very careful. When we say we are expecting a bounce in daily, that doesn't mean it will happen, right? So this is why for example, personally, I'm still 80% plus in stable coins. I think I'm like 99% in stable coins, and I just started to buy back few stuff, right? But just little by little, because I'm really waiting for this very good risk reward ratio, and this very good risk reward ratio to me will happen in the coming weeks, when we will go to 30k level. This is where I expect, but the idea is like if we had like some kind of a pump towards 40k plus, lot of retailers will enter this zone. Like they will say, okay, we will have like a lot of skyrockets, moon boys on Twitter saying, oh, it's back, Bitcoin is back, whatsoever, and then some kind of dump to trap them. So probably more like a short squeeze and then a long squeeze. It was kind of like the scenario in 2028 when we entered like the very long crypto winter, when we had like big dumps, then pullbacks and then more dumps. So we recommend you to be very careful. And just if you want to place some orders, it's like 5-10% of your portfolio, and that's all right. And then you have to focus on finding the right spots regarding DeFi protocols in order to make your money works, even though you are in stable coins. And we will make a bunch of videos regarding that. For Ethereum, I'm not that bullish, to be honest. You know, I'm really waiting for Ethereum. I prefer to wait and miss the opportunity than, you know, entering in a level I'm not a big fan of. I prefer really to buy Bitcoin right now than really Ethereum. And that's the thing we are going to move forward. Is like, I know I have like a bunch of friends that say I don't want to buy Bitcoin. I only want to buy altcoin because they think the upside is more in like in altcoins than in Bitcoin. I would agree like in the bull market, but when you have like a market that is that weak and more like on the downside and on the upside, I prefer to go like in big market caps and also to focus on Bitcoin, right? Because even though Bitcoin can do can dump, it will dump way less than Ethereum, and you can see it, right? Ethereum, you know, price come from like almost 5k to like half its value. You know, it's a bit different for Bitcoin. And when you are in a bearish scenario, in a bearish trend, as we can see in weekly, and for us it's not over yet, the idea is like to save as much money of your portfolio against dollar and try to overperform Bitcoin. You know, at the long term, what you want is that have more Bitcoin, right? To be prepared for the next bull run and then surf the wave somehow. So if your portfolio is losing against Bitcoin since like the dump, it's very bad. And I would recommend you to take a bit of time to think about your strategy again and try to adapt it, right? I know it's difficult to make choices when you have some alts that are down 50% plus and you really believe in them, but still, you need to take small actions and try to rebalance your portfolio a bit to maximize your risk reward at the current situation. So then I want to outperform Bitcoin and I want to play the small bounce, why not? Or I want to accumulate few alts. What do you recommend, Julian? Okay, good question, not an easy one. These are like few alts I have selected. I think for BNB, why not play a bounce? But I would rather wait. Same for Solana, right? You know, it's very difficult to buy Solana at $100 when you know that few weeks a year ago it was like below $20. But at $50, I would really beat Solana very with like strong orders. But I still bought few Solana and I'm buying few Solana since few days now because I probably want to buy NFTs on Solana. So not to make like a Solana bet, but more like trying to buy Solana as cheap as possible to enter like some NFTs. Matic, not much to say right now because like even though I'm on Matic chain a lot, I have like I'm testing a lot of stuff over there. I'm not that much confident in Matic price action in the coming weeks, so I would rather wait. For me, NEAR is way more interesting in terms of risk reward, and the trade is way more easier to identify. You know, like when you enter and when you can exit the trade, right? Because I see too many people entering like a trade and say, okay, now I wait to go back to at least the all-time high. You know, if Bitcoin dumps, NEAR will get really badly affected on the downside. So if you enter NEAR, enter like with a very small portion of your portfolio, maximum, let's say 2%, and you place an orders, okay, you have some NEAR now. Then you wait, right? You see how price action of Bitcoin is, and you can do like for, let's say, stop loss, like some kind of like limit orders to exit your position at, let's say, $9.9, right? So, right, the stop loss is quite big, eh? Okay, 15%, but you have it has to be that big because, like, you know, crypto market is very volatile, so you need to have like some kind of like security, right? And I would do that. Why not sell like 50% and wait to get back on like, let's say, $5 or whatsoever, and then you outperform NEAR in this trade, even though you lose some kind of dollars, right? You protect your money. I'm really not a big fan of Polkadot ecosystem. I'm really not a big fan at all. But why not play some kind of bounce, because like this trade is very easy to identify, right? To play this bounce and manage your risk management, even though the stop loss is quite far. Always watch Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. And a lot of people ask me about Atom. And regarding Cosmos, I will wait to wait how it reacts on $20 prices. So to recap, for those who are in a hurry and want to trade a bit, I'm trying to test this bounce with, like, let's say 10%, 15% of my folio on Bitcoin and some kind of on other altcoin, but just like to play the bounce and sell, right? I'm not accumulating Bitcoin as if we were like in a very bearish, bullish scenario, and I want to play the next bullish upside. I'm still waiting low prices. Very difficult to predict how low it will go, but really I'm waiting lower prices in a weekly time frame. A lot of people say that 30k will like be some kind of a major support, and whales will get in and we will not go lower than that. For me, it's very difficult to say at the moment, so that's why I would rather wait and just play the bounce on a daily. And if I'm wrong and then the price continue to go back to all-time high, I would try to go back on a few altcoins or so, because I would be a bit late. But I'm not in a hurry. I prefer to play huge risk reward scenario and then wait with my stable coins in DeFi, right? We had like a very upside phases in 2021 and 2020, so that's why now I'm not in a rush. I prefer to wait the right configuration of the market. But of course, we will keep you updates. We'll give you weekly updates on the market to adapt a bit our scenario and how we play the crypto market. But this is how we play it right now, and this is the information we wanted to give you. So be careful with altcoin. Try to always think that you need to select the altcoin that will outperform Bitcoin. That's the only idea you have to keep in mind. So see you next week, and be safe on the market.